Hello student, this video is for class 9th student, and in this video we will learn about the chapter number 9. It is the second part of the chapter number 9. Chapter name is Force and Laws of Motion. So let us start. Today our first topic is what is the force of friction? It means what is friction force? So it is a force extended when two surfaces are in contact with each other. It always acts in the direction opposite to the direction of motion of object. It means friction force is the force which opposes the direction of motion when two objects are in contact with each other. So in this diagram you can see a force is applying on the object, and when a force applied on the object it possesses a motion. Into this, the direction of the motion is same as the direction of applying force, but according to the definition of friction force, the friction will be into the opposite direction of the motion, because friction opposes the direction of motion, or friction try to decrease the speed of the object. So I hope the topic of the friction force is clear to everyone. Now our next topic is laws of motion. There are generally three laws of motion, in which the first law of motion, which is also known as law of inertia. Second law of motion states that change in momentum, it means change in momentum of an object is directly proportional to the applied force. Now the third law is also known as action reaction law. In this part of the video we will study about the first law of motion. Into the other part we will study about the second and the third law. So start with the first law of motion. So what is the first law of motion, or state the first law of motion? When this question arises, the answer is like this. First law of motion is also known as the law of inertia. Whenever object is moving uniformly or on a straight path or is at rest, its state would not change until and unless an external force is applied on it. It means if an object is moving uniformly on a straight path or is in the position of rest, it remain at rest. If it is moving, it will remain in the moving condition until an external force is applied on it. So it will be clear by the diagram. In this diagram you can see an object, it means football. Football is at rest, so it will remain at rest unless acted on by an unbalanced force. It remains at rest until a force is applied on the football. An object in motion will continue with constant speed and direction. If the football is moving, then it will continuously moving with the same speed or constant speed and in a definite direction until an unbalanced force acted upon it. So this is the first law of motion. I am repeating again. If an object is in motion or is in the state of rest, it will remain in the position of motion or in the position of rest until an unbalanced force acted upon it. Now, what is inertia? The tendency of objects to remain in the state of rest or to keep moving uniformly is called inertia. If an object is in a state of rest or in a state of motion, that it will remain in the state of rest or in motion, and this tendency of the object is called inertia. It means you can say into the short, inertia opposes the force applied on it. What is the example of inertia? Number 1, we fall forward when brake are applied in car because our body opposite change the state of rest. Suppose we are sitting in a car and suddenly the brakes of the car applied, then we fall forward. It happens because of inertia. Because when we car when our car is moving, then we are into the state of motion, and as the brake is applied, the car comes into the state of rest, but our body want to keep moving. So as we fall forward into the same case, into the second example of the inertia, we fall back when a vehicle suddenly start moving in forward direction. It is the same case of the law of inertia. When we are standing in a bus and it suddenly start moving, we fall backward because our body was in the state of rest and it want to state of rest. But when the vehicle suddenly start, due to inertia, we fall back. Now, relationship between inertia and mass. So, the inertia of an object is dependent upon its mass. It means the inertia of an object is directly proportional to the mass of the object. Lighter object has less inertia, that is, they can easily change their state of rest or motion. Lighter object has less inertia because they has less mass, so has less inertia. That is, they can easily change their state of rest or motion. Heavier objects have large inertia and therefore they show more resistance or more oppose the motion. Heavier object has heavier mass, so they have large inertia and therefore they show more resistance. And mass is called a measure of inertia of an object. So we can say that mass is a measure of inertia of an object. Now, by the example, it will be clear that it is an empty bucket and it's a bucket filled with sand. Because of sand, the mass of the bucket is higher than the empty bucket. So, it will be difficult to push the bucket filled with sand rather than to push the bucket which is empty due to inertia. So, inertia and mass is directly proportional. Thank you. Thanks a lot.